I got put on academic probation. So I don't know what I did, but some switch flipped. I talked to my counselors. I'm like, what can I do? They're like, great, you're going to take these classes. I took all of these crazy electives that were like how to like do college.
Yeah.
Right. I met with my guidance counselors often. Right. I took a bunch of courses over. And the thing was, I'm like, I'm not stupid. I don't think I'm stupid. I don't know what it was. But yeah. And I'm having fun. Have fun,
Yeah.
right? But I wasn't like a particular, like I wasn't a partier or a drinker, right? I wasn't doing drugs. Like that's the other thing. I'm like, it wasn't like I was out wasted.
Right.
I was like, what? I was just
So
being social.
what I'm hearing is you failed at both sides of college. You screwed up in the classroom, and you didn't do any drugs or have fun.
And I didn't do any drugs, right? Like I was like, that stuff didn't happen until I was well out of school.
So,
Shall we?
welcome, my friends, listeners, to what I'm maybe calling FlawedCast, because it's where we get together and we talk about struggles and failure and what that feels like, what that looks like to us, what we learn from it. When does struggle and failure actually lead to something nice in spite of ourselves? And I want to start today by talking about a struggle of my own, which I'm really in the midst of. I'm really struggling with my impulse control. Today it was bad. My guest knows that I like to make some ice cream, and I made ice cream today because not only is it the 4th of July coming up, but my father-in-law's birthday, and so I made his favorite ice cream, which is raspberry with dark chocolate chunks.
Oh,
And if
yes.
I did not pick on those dark chocolate chunks a little bit before they went into the ice cream. So yeah, that's my struggle. I literally just came from finishing making that ice cream. I did not finish eating the ice cream. Thank you very much. But I got a sweet tooth. So that's my struggle. My guest tonight is one of my best friends. I did the math, and we've known each other for 19 years, coming up on 20 years.
Are you
She
kidding?
is, no, I'm serious. She is a director of stage. She's a producer, a writer. She's currently the artistic director of SpeakEasy Stage Company in Boston, and a dear friend for all those many years. Dawn Meredith Simmons, DMS. Hey, buddy.
Hi, hello. That's gonna make me cry. I can't believe it. Like,
Right?
that's
Yeah,
a
20 years
long
ago,
time.
2006, I moved to Boston, and I think the year later is when I started at the
At the
Source.
source.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
yeah. So,
Um,
isn't that wild?
that that makes me so happy. I was thinking about you and your family. I was driving home from visiting my family, and I was like, "Wow, John and I are still friends. That's awesome." But like in this way of like, "Oh, who are all my friends? Am I being a good friend to my friends? And like, do I need to check in? Right? Like, what can I do?" That's incredible. Like almost
Yeah,
20 years.
yeah.
Yay.
Congrats, we did it.
Congrats to us. We did it. Yay.
Can we dive in?
I'm an open book.
Yeah, awesome. First off, just to kind of set a baseline, when you hear the word failure or when you hear the word struggle, what does that mean to you?
I don't know. It looks like a lot of things. Sometimes it's really scary. Sometimes it is possibility. Often it's learning,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Sometimes there's shame,
Oh, yeah.
right? With that, and sometimes there's like, I don't give a fuck,
Uh-huh.
and I never know what it's gonna be
Yep.
until I'm
Thanks.
in it. I think also, right, there is the like, oh, sometimes it's a sneak attack and a thing that I'm like, oh, I'm cool, I'm cool, I'm cool. And then a week later, I'm like
Not
sobbing,
cool. Yeah.
not cool, not cool,
Yeah.
right? Not cool. Uh,
What are we talking about? Are we talking about like I have a goal in mind and went sideways? Are we talking about something that I didn't even think I could fail at, but now I'm suddenly struggling with?
Yeah.
Are we talking about all of that
I
in
think
between?
it's all of that and in between, right? The goals, right? I can talk sort of specifically. Like if I set a goal and I don't hit it, but let's say it's a goal like a New Year's resolution.
Uh-huh.
There's
Yeah.
probably like half of me that's like, if you do it, good job.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Like, all right,
Bonus
listen,
points if you get
we'll
it,
try.
no sweat if you don't.
Right. No sweat if you don't. But then, right, there are those that you notice you've been making year after year after year. And then, right, like there's the question, why do I keep making this resolution? Why can't I stick with it? Why
Right.
don't I take it seriously? Why don't I take
Right.
myself seriously? Clearly, this is something I think I need to work on in that sort of like spiral. And then I'm like, what's wrong with you? Like, why can't you just do it? And I'll come back and try to make that resolution. And right, like that could be something like, right? I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to exercise more. I'm going to move. I'm going to write. My favorite right now, I'm going to read. I used to be an avid reader. And there is this part of me, like, this is the most low stakes thing, but it is. I, right, used to be the person who'd read a book or two a month. And now I'm like lucky if I pick up a book at all. And
Yeah.
not being able to get into that, and like I'll do a couple of weeks, a couple of months even, where I'm like, okay, I read 20 minutes before I like went to bed, or I took a book on the train and I
Right.
read it, and then all of a sudden I'm not doing it anymore. And so I have 3 books that I have started in like the last 3 years,
Yeah.
unfinished. They're very good, but like when I'm like, why can't I do this? Why am I letting, and then it's this conversation. Why am I letting the phone win? Why am I letting social media win? Right?
Do you listen to books? Or do
I
you just
do.
read? Yeah.
I do listen to books. I'm listening to a book right now. And if you ask me, though, will I tell you I read it? I sure will.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's
Yeah.
the same. I think it counts.
I wonder. Right? Again, I'm like, does this count? I'm listening to it. And like,
Yeah.
this is the thing that I miss about reading is that, like, right, you miss a thing and you go back and you can read it and, right, you can pore over a sentence, a word. Like, what does this mean? You can underline and, like, I love the activity of reading,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Highlighting passages, remembering, sharing them with friends. Like, that used to be stuff that I would do. And now I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, look at this meme. This is fun.
Well, I feel you on those struggles, especially the. I'm curious. What was the phrase you said? You said, "What's wrong with you?"
Yeah.
What is that voice in your head? What does that sound like? Is that a mean "What's wrong with you," or is it like a sibling? I'm actually supporting you. What's wrong with you?
Oh, that's a great question. No, it's definitely me,
Yeah.
and it is the judgier parts of me that I only reserve for myself. I feel like I
Yeah.
was talking about this with someone else, right? I give great advice. I do not take my own advice. And so
Sure.
when I'm talking to other people about failure, right, this is the gross part. So nobody who knows me listen to this. But right,
Fluff
for
your
me,
ears.
it's like you get to fail. You get to make mistakes. You get to
Yeah.
learn. We have to be kinder to ourselves. For
Yeah.
me, not a no, no, no,
No. Yeah.
no. And people who believe that, what's wrong with you? No,
Yeah.
no. Right? And that's the like, why can't I be kinder to myself? And so, right, sometimes that voice is really mean. Sometimes that voice is bored, right? Sometimes that voice is like, of course you couldn't,
Right.
right? Sometimes that voice is like really motivating, like, all right, okay, all right, oh, okay, get back on the horse. You can do it, right?
Right.
You failed, it's fine, right? Like there's some every now and again I get the coach. But I wish I would love to get coach more than the person who's like, you're a fraud, right? Like this is the long form of this. Is that voice is like, you had a moment. You made some like right. You got lucky.
Yep.
You got lucky, but
Yep.
like at the end of the day, come on. We knew
Yeah.
this wasn't like for real,
Yeah.
right? So of
Oh,
course you
that hits
failed,
home.
right?
Yeah.
Of course you failed,
Yeah.
right? Of a show, it's supposed to make a certain amount of money. It didn't make money. It wasn't a critical hit, right? Like somebody reviews it and they give it a terrible review, and I'm like,
Mhm.
well, they saw it. They saw it. How
Yeah.
did I not see it?
Right. Right.
Right? Like, aren't I supposed to know?
It's tricky too with something like that because I I say this coming from a similar place of that kind of self-critique. Um, when it's something that I've made or something that I go to, that was my job. And you're right, I failed at my job. Like this was
Right?
it was my job to see
One
this, my
job.
job to fix it,
Right.
and
And I
I
didn't. But then there are like, smaller things like failures of friendship, right?
yeah.
Right. I can't remember if you and I were talking about this, but like I had a really rough run earlier this year. I felt
Hmm.
like I had failed family, friends, colleagues, right? Not showing up the way that I should have, right? They expected
Hmm.
something from me that right? Like in hindsight, there's part of me that's like, I'm not a mind reader. You have to tell me that's what you want. But because I wasn't a
Sure.
mind reader, I'm like, I'm terrible, right? There are places where I'm like, I know that you're being unreasonable in the thing that you want, but because I couldn't give it to you, and now, right, like a friend or a family member is in a funk, is spiraling out, is like,
Yeah.
right, my failure to intuit their needs has me like, I'm so unworthy,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
Um, And like well, this is why you're gonna die alone, right? It's the thing that comes next, right? Because you don't know how to take care of the people who need taken care of.
It's a pretty big jump.
It's a pretty big jump, but it is also like the one. It's right. It's like, well, because I failed this friend, now it like you start to go back and look at all the places where you failed friends, and it's one of
Yeah.
the hardest lessons for me. The failures of friendship. I have to remember often that I have gotten into arguments, I've gotten into fights, I've had misunderstandings, I've fallen out with friends. But like the really true ones, somehow we always find our way back to each other. And
Hmm.
that there is a moment where I have to like believe that this friend and I, like, we will come back together. Like, if we
Yeah.
really care, one of us is going to do something. We're going to try to make a stupid joke. We're going to find each other. And so sometimes I can remember that. And I'm like, okay, you'll be okay. And there are some folks that I'm like, all right, we have found our way back to each other. And there's some where that mistake was like scratching the surface at something larger.
Hmm.
Right,
Hmm.
and we are not friends, and this is the thing, right? Like in failures of relationships, friendships, like there are some of those where I'm like, okay, again, that was a good friendship while it lasted, and like this was supposed to come to an end,
Yeah.
and it
Yeah.
has, and that's okay.
Yeah.
But they're like handfuls where I'm like, oh my gosh, what would I do without you? Right? What would I do without this person? And I will also say that's only for a time, right? Knowing that relationships, friendships, right? Romances can end, and
Yeah.
that sometimes that feels like a failure, but also sometimes that's the natural course of things.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
I'm so curious about this because it took me a long time to learn that this thing of you can be friends with somebody and get in a fight or have some kind of terrible misunderstanding and
Yeah.
still come back together. I think I grew up in a situation where I felt like I was a pretty regular disappointment, and I did not feel like there was leeway for me to make mistakes and then like still be loved. I think that that was my interpretation. I don't think that was true, but I think that was what it felt like. And so for so much of my life, like when a problem happened, when
Yeah.
a disagreement happened, it was like, oh, well, that's done.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's just gone now.
Yeah.
Cool.
No.
Um,
No.
when did you learn that?
Um, I imagine I probably learned it at a very young age,
Mm,
but one of the moments that sticks out for me at a like older age, it might have been around 23 or 24.
mm,
And my best friend and I at the time we were in a weird place,
mhm,
and we got into some weird friendship slash romantic entanglement. Like just a
mm,
bunch of us that were, you know, when like you have a group of friends and you're all hanging out and all of a sudden you're all in love with each other and you don't know
mhm,
how it happened, but you're just like, right. And especially when you're young and you're all hanging out at the same time. And sometimes like groups of you will pair off and go out. And then like one of you is like, wait, you all went out without me. And I think for both of us, we wound up feeling like, oh, you're hanging out with them, but you're hanging out with them without me. Like I brought you into this group, and vice
right,
versa. And they're like, "What the
right,
fuck? They're my friends. You can't steal my friends, right?" Um, and and not only that, but just the like, wait, does this mean not only are you stealing my friends, but do you not love me anymore? Are we not friends? And like we were in a weird position too, where we were working together. Like we were working in right, we were working at the same company. And right,
mm,
we're kids. So also, and when I say kids again, we're 23. So everything, like, we're still not fully formed. So everything is heightened.
yeah,
And I just remember, like, at one point we were like, we weren't hanging out because we were both like hanging out with other people in the group. And then one day we were like in the break room together. And she was like, are we okay? I'm
mm,
like, I love you. Right? Like, it just, like, we just were like, let's not ever, like, do this again. Like, we're, like, it's you and me. Um, it was just so stupid. But it was
yeah,
like, I think we were both, like, really mad at each other for a while. All of that is to say, like, I remember like being like her being mad at me and me being mad at her. And I remember, right, like later on, later in the year after we had like gotten our shit together and we're friends, just being like, oh man, at the time I thought this was the end of the world. Like I thought this was the end of us,
yeah,
right? And that we could have a misunderstanding and then see each other and be like, I love you. And we talked about some things. Like also let me not, like, I want to stress that. Like, it wasn't just, hey, are we good? And me being like, I love you. It
mm,
was, here's what's going on. Here's how I feel. This thing that happened made me feel like this. Well, this thing you did made me feel a certain way. And so,
right,
um, I always come to it now when even as a middle-aged woman, when I lose touch, when I feel some kind of way about friends, when they feel some kind of way about me, I'm like, you've done this before. And like,
yeah,
you just need to like sort of, right, face it head on and be like, hi, what's going on?
right.
And you can get it back.
Oof. Um, I want to do a little speed round.
Speed round.
Yeah. Tell me about the earliest time in your life that you feel like you just blew it big time.
The earliest time in my life that I blew it big time.
First thing that comes to mind.
It was really stupid. I think it was like seventh or eighth grade. I was in a geography, like spelling bee, like a geography bee, and I couldn't remember peninsula, even though I knew it in my head. Like
Uh-huh.
there was a clue, and the answer was peninsula, and I knew it, but I didn't trust myself to say it, and then I didn't say it, and then my brother came up to me later, and he was like, "The answer's peninsula," and I was like, "Fucking damn it! Why did I just trust myself?"
Oh
But
man.
like it was one of these things too, right? Like in eighth grade, I wasn't, or seventh grade, I wasn't the smartest person. right? Like I was kind of like, I was an average student. So the big thing was at this like geography B or whatever it was like 3 of us. It was down to the final 3 and I was one of them. And I was like, fucking shit. I'm not supposed to be here. Like I don't do anything. I should have been out the first round.
Do you still get a little bit of a trigger when you hear the word peninsula?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
I think was in 6th grade. I did a spelling bee and my word was trapdoor, and I was expected to do well in the spelling bee, put it that way.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And very overconfident in a way once I heard that word, and I just launched into it. I go TARP, and like was spelling tarp door because I just was like, oh, this is so easy.
Overconfident.
Didn't hit pause to think of it and be deliberate with it, and I was out. And
buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But sometimes when I hear trapdoor, I'm like,
you're like,
oh,
uh-huh.
oh, 12-year-old John, poor guy.
Right? Poor us. Speed round?
When's the first time you got in trouble?
I cannot remember. And I say that because I was always getting in trouble, right? Like I was always getting a spanking. I was always getting, on punishment. Always.
What are the kind of things that you would get into trouble for? What kind of havoc were you causing?
Back talking, bad grades. I got, oh my God, like there were semesters in high school where I didn't do anything because like I brought home like C's. Right. Right. I was like, dang it. I was like lying as like a little kid, fibbing maybe. Really, when I was a little kid and I would get like a spanking, it was probably because I did something that my parents were like, don't do that. And I was like, yeah, but you don't mean don't do that. And so I'd be like, what? Nobody's going to catch me getting these cookies? What? Right. Oh, I got grounded this one time. I got mad. This is right. Fail.com. I was babysitting. I was like about 12 years old. I was babysitting this kid. And what was it? I lost the key and I got really mad at myself for losing the key. And so I, acting out like through my door, like my bedroom door, like hard.
Yeah.
And the doorknob, it was like a wood panel wall, went through the wood paneling. Yep. Yeah. Now, here's the thing. I like later that night I was supposed to go to like the 8th grade dance. Had I not told my parents, they never would have known, right? Like
no clue.
Right? No clue. But I was such a goody two shoes that I was like, Mom, Dad, I accidentally put like a hole in the wall because I was really mad that I couldn't find the key. I found it. So they grounded me and didn't let me go to the dance that night. I was so sad.
And that kind of thing is so heartbreaking at that age too, right?
Yeah.
Like it's your whole life is getting to that dance.
Whole life.
Yeah.
Whole life. I was like, I planned it. God. I blew up these goddamn balloons. You're enjoying it without me.
Okay, next up. Well, you already kind of talked about grades, but did you ever fail a class, or did you ever get close to?
All the time. All the time.
Really?
Oh yeah. I was not in high school, but in college. Oh my God. I don't know how I got out of college, and then how I went on to grad school. My first 2 years of college, I was on academic probation.
Really?
Yeah. I was about to, like, I truly was about to flunk out. And I don't know why. Like, I loved college. I was having so much fun, but maybe there was a problem. I was having too much fun. And so, like, the couple of things that happened, I got put on academic probation. And so my parents were like, we're not paying for this. Like, if you're going to go here and not take it seriously, we're not going to pay for it. Now, I was really lucky and I was going to a state school, so it was inexpensive at the time. So I don't know what I did, but some switch flipped. I talked to my counselors. I was like, I'm going to do a bunch of stuff. I'm like, what can I do? They're like, great, you're going to take these classes. Like I took like a college note-taking course. I took a concentration and like I took all of these crazy electives that were like how to like do college.
Yeah.
Right. I met with my guidance counselors often. Right. I took a bunch of courses over. And I was working full time. And right, I paid for school. My parents were like, we paid for your first year, you're on your own.
Yeah.
And so I worked my ass off and like paid my tuition. And the thing was, I'm like, I'm not stupid. I don't think I'm stupid. I'm like, I just don't care, or I'm bored, or I'm not taking it.
Right.
Like, I don't know what it was. But yeah. And I'm having fun. Have fun.
Yeah.
Right. But I wasn't like a particular, like I wasn't a party or a drinker. Right. I wasn't doing drugs. Like that's the other thing. I'm like, it wasn't like I was out wasted.
Right.
I was like, what? I was just
So-
being social.
What I'm hearing is you failed at both sides of college. You screwed up in the classroom, and you didn't do any drugs or have fun.
And I didn't do any drugs, right? Like I was like, that stuff didn't happen until I was well out of school, man. I was so straight edge. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Have you
Not
ever
proud.
been fired? You ever been fired from a job?
No. No. I've quit, and I've quit some like under duress or in positions where I'm like, okay, this doesn't, I don't love this, but I've never been fired. I've never been fired. I have fired people.
Ooh.
And that's sucked. Like, no, I was saying to somebody else, right? Like, it's not, if it is for just cause and it has been the like, okay, this is what it has to be, right? And I also want to say, like, there's a difference between firing somebody and laying someone off. Like
Right.
that I've had to do, and it is miserable.
Yeah.
But somebody that I'm like, no, you're disruptive to me, to the team, to the organization, right?
You need to go.
You've got to go.
What is your funniest failure? What do you look back on and just laugh at?
I don't know, friend. That's a great question. Can we
I
come
mean,
back to it? I'm like,
Peninsula is
what's...
pretty funny.
Peninsula is delightful, but I'm like, no, there are dumb ones, right? Like, I'm the first person to laugh at myself, right? If I fall, if I do something silly, if I like, right, like make a huge mistake, like, but I find everything funny,
Yeah.
right? I find everything funny. So I'm like, I don't know, name one.
Is that part of your sort of coping, your means of getting past struggles? And like, when you've had a failure or when you're having a struggle, what is it that you do to get through it? I want to say practically and like emotional, spiritually. I mean, your college example is a really great one of practicality. You're like, all right, I'm not pulling it together, so I'm going to take this class and I'm going to see these people and I'm going to...
I think that it is always that. It is a combination of the practical and my favorite mantra, the only way out is through.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like when something is hard, right? When I fail, like it's that one, and this too shall pass.
Mm-hmm.
And the knowledge of if I can stay still long enough and let it like pass, let it like wash over me, right?
Yeah.
I must not fear. Fear is the mind killer, right? Like those things kind of hold me.
Yeah.
And somewhere they are part of my operating system of, all right, what can you do? Can you get practical? Can you solve it some kind of way? No? All right, great. Right, it will eventually go away, right? It will fade away, right?
When does the laughter come in? There's that quote about...
yeah.
There's the quote about, like, tragedy plus time equals comedy, but, like, how long does it take you to find some of these things funny?
Not long.
20
not
seconds?
long. 20 seconds. Honestly, like, not long. I think in my life, we've gone through, my family and I have gone through some things where I'm always like, this would be so funny if it was happening to somebody else.
Yeah.
So that means it's funny happening to you, right?
Yeah.
Like this thing, this utter failure, this like impossible situation, right? If somebody else was telling you the thing, which I think is the other piece, like I love a good story. And I am recognizing that like the older I am, I'm like, oh, sometimes I'm the good story. So I'm like, all right, great, right? Like, this is ridiculous. And I'm going to tell you about it firsthand.
Yeah.
And that I think takes the sting off of a lot of stuff, right? It was the kind of stuff where it's like, oh, if these things were happening, it would be like to somebody else, you'd just be like, there's no way.
Right. Right.
And so, like, right, dealing with hard situations and seeing that and laughing, right, failing and being like, all right, well, what you gonna do?
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? And I don't know, like, I love a good song. I love a good quote. Right, I'm a person who has like one of those playlists that you play when you're like when you feel like you've been beaten down, when you need help, like getting through, motivating, whatever. But it's always the like, however I get knocked down, I am gonna get back up. Don't sing it. Don't sing it. Don't sing it.
It
What?
sounds like Chumbawumba is the number one song on your playlist. Is it? Is it on there?
No, it is absolutely not. But I heard it when I said it, which is why I was like, don't.
What is on that playlist? What do you listen to?
I was like, Eye of the Tiger, son. Some
Nice.
Survivor, right?
Yep.
Right. This is crazy. Like, it's motivating, but I think it is in the like sort of failure place. What the heck is it? I Go to Work by Cool Mo D.
Nice.
Right? And just so like, you gotta get up. You gotta do something. It
Yeah.
is, and the like beat. It's like New Jack, like old school hip hop is so good. Yeah. But I don't know. I think that's it. Like I don't know. Like when things go south, when you fail, you can wallow in it, which I'm known to do, but probably to myself and probably very internally. Like even as I'm wallowing in a thing, I am moving through it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. That's just
Right.
like part of the process, right? That's
It's
the
part of
sitting
the
with it.
process.
That's the
Yeah.
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 I'm curious with all this stuff, where does it feel like how do I put this? You when you mess something up, does your sense of failure come from inside? Do you have a compass? It's like, oh, I didn't quite get that right, or I really messed this one up. Or do you feel like it's coming from, we talked earlier about a critic might write something and
Yeah.
that tells you you messed up. Is it that stuff that's coming from outside and people's reactions? Do those
I
hit you in a different way than when you feel it internally?
They do. I'd probably say that I feel those less than I do the internal. Like when I have determined for myself that something is like an abject failure,
Yeah.
that is the hardest to get through. Because I am my worst critic.
Yeah.
I am the person who both believes in myself unconditionally, unreservedly, and without fail. And because of that, when I don't hit it, I'm like, you don't deserve this.
Yeah.
You don't deserve a champion such as yourself, right? Like, right?
Does that
The,
normally
like,
come when you've got one of those specific goals that you're trying to hit and you don't quite reach it, or does that come in other circumstances? That feeling.
I would say it comes not in a place when I don't quite reach it, but when I'm like, I have completely missed the mark.
Just totally
Right?
missed it.
Could
Yeah.
totally missed the mark. And I'm like, how you have been, right, like training for this, working on this your whole life, like your whole career has led to this moment. How'd you let yourself down? How'd you
Yeah.
let all these other people down? And again, I make theater. It's not brain surgery,
Right.
but it is something that like people's livelihoods are riding on, right? And so that is something that is huge, right?
Yeah.
If people don't seem markedly improved by the work I'm doing or by my presence, I'm like, what was I here for? And I mean, like, if that is the goal, right? Like, not every interaction is a like, blessings be upon you, right?
Sure.
Like,
Sure.
but in the work, right? If you ask me to come and speak to a bunch of people, like right now we're doing like this podcast, and I'm like, what if I don't inspire anybody? What if people are like, your stories are too vague and they're not really specific? I'm supposed to be here to help, right? I'm supposed to be here to help you feel better about, right, failure, right, or at least just talk it through. And again, I'm like, oh, who put that on you?
Right.
The prompt was, we're going to talk about it. The prompt wasn't, and make a bunch of people feel okay about failure.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if I haven't helped 5 souls. Right.
I mean, in my mind, it's also like, how fitting would it be if we did this podcast about failure and it totally sucked? It just was not worthwhile at all.
I mean, listen.
Actively hurt people.
I'd be like, well, this is why I don't talk. This is why I should not talk. Yeah.
That's an interesting dynamic, because you were just moments ago talking about, bringing in this energy to projects of like having self-confidence and having boldness and the ability to like sweep in and leave your mark on something. But then you also have this flip side of,
Absolutely.
or maybe I won't. Maybe I will just totally be...
Right? I think it is one of the things that maybe helps to guard me against failure. Like, I never know who I'm going to get, right? I'm going to come in a room and I'm like, I'm going to try. Right? I'm going to come in the room, I'm going to swing for the fences. I'm going to come in the room, I'm hella prepared. I'm going to come in the room, I'm not prepared, but I know how to bullshit this thing. Right? I don't know. Right? Like, I don't know what it's going to be. I say this all the time, so it's in the context of, I've had a really lovely career. I've had a really lovely couple of years. And somewhere at the beginning of that run was like all confidence and bravado. And I would walk into a room and like, right, like I had earned my stripes.
Yeah.
And I felt like I could be there, and I felt like I could command a room. And now I'm back in it, and I'm like, oh, do I actually know everything? People think differently. Am I on the right train with everybody? Do I understand what I'm even saying? Do I believe, right, the thing that I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
And when I'm figuring that out, is that when, right, that, I don't know, self-doubt or something creeps in that's like, oh, I don't have this.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's always in real time. Right.
Which makes it all the more fun.
Yeah, where I'm like, oh no, she's spiraling down.
Yeah.
Oh crap. We're going down.
Yeah, that's tough. I'm very much that same way, like not knowing there's these different versions of me, and who knows who's going to be in the room
Right.
on the day.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a fun roller coaster, at least for me.
No. I mean, I don't know. Like sometimes do you feel like you go in one way and you're like, oh, I've got it. Oh shit. I don't got it. You're like,
Don't got
this
it.
is what we're doing today, right? I don't got it,
Yeah.
and this is what we're doing today.
Yeah.
Are you ever able to relax into that and just be like, okay?
I am getting better as I think part of this is age. I think part of this is being a parent and trying to demonstrate things for my kids. But I'm getting a lot better at whatever I come in with. If I recognize in the moment that something's off,
Yeah.
I will stop and call it out. And
Nice.
that totally, even if it's just a momentary thing and now we're moving on, or if it changes the direction of the conversation, either way, like it tends to it fixes the separation between what my mouth is doing and what my brain is doing. It gets them in line. So at the
Nice.
very least, it becomes a smoother experience for me. And I think that it does that for other people too.
That's success.
Yeah. Sometimes.
Um, but like with your, I have always wondered, I have always hoped, right, for parents, not being a parent myself, but that one of those things is like, right, you're with these kids and they don't give a fuck, and that they teach you how to be okay with failure because you have to teach them. But
Yeah.
like at the end of the day, right, like you're not. I mean, you could read every single book in the world about being a parent, but like for every book there is, that means there's a million different ways to parent and you can
Yeah.
only do what you can do. Does
Yeah.
it make it easier for you to like be like, well, we tried that and oops. Kid's still alive, they're breathing.
Yeah. I mean, in a way, one of the things that has been really resonating for me is how much of their life is built around failure, right? Like my youngest son, James, is learning to talk right now, and he does not know words, and he cannot make the shapes of words. And there are times when he is so desperate to say something to us, and he doesn't have the word for it, or he's saying something that means the right thing to him, but that doesn't mean that to us.
Yeah.
And he can get stuck in that, or he can work his ass off to figure out another way to show us or tell us. And that's his everyday life, right? And same thing with, I'm learning how to crawl, I'm learning how to walk. You're literally like fighting gravity for the first time ever, and it's gonna pull you down on your ass like that.
Right.
Their lives are built around,
Yeah.
I want to do something and I'm gonna fail at it 17 times before
Right.
I figure it out.
Right.
But I'm also not gonna stop because
Right.
I really want this
Right.
food that daddy isn't giving me yet. So like I gotta
Right.
um
But they also haven't been taught shame around it yet, or to
right,
feel bad about failing. So it's just like, all right, I'm gonna try again. I'm gonna
right.
try again. I'm
But
try
I
again.
think that that's a good reminder to me too, right? To be like,
Mm-hmm.
oh yeah, I blew it. I mean, almost all the best moments that I've had as a parent in terms of like actively parenting,
Yeah.
in like a lesson kind of way, has been when I fucked up and I did something or said something that I really regret, and I went back and talked to my kids about it and was like, I screwed up. And let me tell you why,
Yeah.
where I was at and what I was thinking when I screwed up. And let me
Yeah.
apologize. And let me tell you what I'm going to do next time. So watching them has taken that shame away for
Yeah.
me. And that has started to bleed into other parts of my life, just like
Nice.
adult conversations and whatnot. Um,
Oh, the children.
oh, the children, they are our future. Reference. Um, we are winding to the end. There's two more questions I want to ask if I can sneak them in on
Do it.
time. Is there a goal that you've had your whole life that you've always wanted to do this thing, and if you don't do it, you're gonna feel it? Like for me, the thing that
Yeah.
really I have like seven answers to this, but the one that I'm really feeling these days is I want to watch a film that I wrote.
Oh,
And if I
that's
don't
nice.
do that, I'm gonna be like, I'm really bummed that I didn't make that happen.
Oh, I love it. No, no, I don't. I've gotten to do a lot of the things that were on my list. I've probably gotten above and beyond. And maybe that's because like most of my dreams are like painfully like middle class, just a little bit above, right? Like I punch a little bit above my weight class, and I've done some really like fun things. Would I love to like get a show to New York? Absolutely. But I think I'll be okay if I don't. I might be disappointed if I never marry. But I've also had really beautiful, lovely love affairs, so I'm not mad at it. And like, I don't know, I'm taking care of my family as best I can.
Yeah.
I'm a simple gal. Good friends, right? And like, I'll also say, like, I've met the American dream, like a very older version, like a very primitive version of the American dream. I own a home, I own a car, I have a job I'm proud of, and I have friends I love, and like beautiful family. And so at the very end of the day, I'm like, those things are super fulfilling.
Yeah.
So that feels good. And like the rest is like gravy. And like, right, it took me forever to get out of the country for the first time and get a passport, but like that was probably would have been the thing. Like if I never
Right.
leave the country, if I never get a passport, I'm gonna feel gross.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that doesn't mean in like 2 more years I won't figure it out. But right now, for today, I'm good.
Awesome.
Yeah.
We opened with talking about what does the word failure conjure for you? What does it make you think of? I want to end with the opposite of that. What does success mean to you? What does it feel like? What does that word resonate with in your
Yeah.
experience?
Satisfaction, pride,
Hmm.
contentment, joy, and occasionally abundance. But abundance is like usually abundance of those feelings of like satisfaction
Yeah.
and pride and joy, right? Like not just a little bit, but a like, oh, I did that,
Yeah.
right? I will say this: it was one of the hardest moments to let myself enjoy, but I got to do a really beautiful show, right? KISSING.
So good.
Right? And even when I think about it today, and I've done some really good shows, but I go back to that and I'm like, that was you at the top of your game. That was you pushing through, not failing. And that was one of the most successful in that it did everything I want a show to do. Visually interesting, great storytelling, great actors, like great relationships with all the creative team and the audience that left, like the writer, right? Said to me, our good friend Nile was like, I want people to feel like they want to make out after they see this. And the amount of people who were like, ooh, I felt kind of like I wanted to make out with somebody. I was like, did it. And I
Nailed it.
remember, right, the executive director of the Huntington, like saying to me, he looked at me, he was like, enjoy it.
Yeah.
Enjoy this. And I couldn't let myself do it until the closing night. And I went to closing night, and I don't usually go to see closing night of my shows, but I went and I was like, holy shit. You never thought you'd be on that stage. You never thought you could do anything like this.
Yeah.
A show that like impacted people. Like that show is going to be a show that some kid sees and they're like, it was one of the most incredible things I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
And you did that?
Yeah.
And like all the like pride and joy and the love that cast had for each other, and like just us as a team were like, holy, right? Like, and I'm working with people who do that every day, but they felt it for that.
Yeah.
And so success for me feels like some shade of that all
Yeah.
the time, right?
Nice.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I haven't figured out how to end this yet. I want to.
Do you have a joke?
Do I have a joke? I always got
Okay.
jokes.
I got jokes.
Trying to think of one of my kids' knock knock jokes, but I'm blanking.
That's great. I was like, ooh, no, probably don't do that.
Maybe
How-
that's the best way to end it, is to like try to end it nice and clean and just
And then just
Sputter out.
Let's just sputter out. We could do it with a dance break.
Yeah. All right. Is there a good song about failure or a good song about overcoming failure that we could dance to?
I get knocked down and I get up again.
Chumbawumba.
Chumbawumba.
To quote the great Chumbawumba.
The great Chumbawumba. I get knocked down and I get up again. Oh God.
And you're
That's
never
the
gonna
failure. That was my failure. You're like, really? You quoted Chumbawumba. That's all you could
It's
come
just
up
in
with.
there. It's one of those things that's just in there. You can't control it.
Right.
Can't get it
What I
out.
say is you're welcome, people, because now you're going to be singing
Yeah.
this song for the next 15 days.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to hit stop. FlawedCast is created, hosted, edited, and produced by me, John J. King. Thanks for failing with me. Is that okay?